So it is a quiet afternoon and I'm in the woods and I'm waiting for Don, who is the second shift guy and also the fungus guy, the guy who grows the mushrooms that will be going into dog treats in the near future. So he was going to take me on a little walk through the woods and sort of show me some mushrooms, help me identify a couple, and actually just last night, some of the mushrooms that he had collected, we had for dinner. So those were oyster mushrooms, I think that's what they were. So I'm not a very fun guy. I don't know much about mushrooms, but I just see one right here on the ground. Let's take a look at this. I have no idea what kind that is, and it just really almost looks plastic, but it's definitely a mushroom. So very interesting. So anyway, I'll wait for, oh, there he is right now. So Mr. Don's gonna show me through the woods.
And this is what we got going on. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Look what we got here. A beautiful cluster of... They're oyster mushrooms, and that's what's shown up. And that's fantastic. I didn't expect that. So great, look at that. It's coming on all sides of the log. Neat. So I'll pick those and we'll bring those in later.
So right now I'm hanging out in the woods with Don, and he's the fun guy around here. He's the guy that knows about the fungus and is gonna take me around and show me. We're gonna cut some logs and stuff over the next couple days and get some more of these awesome mushrooms growing. So you're gonna take me and show me some rooster tails?
We're gonna look at some turkey tails.
Turkey tails.
And
okay.
This is what we got going on for our logs that we've done. This has been experimentation so far, and what we found out is shiitakes do the best, wide range shiitakes. There aren't any currently going, but we just got a big 3-pound flush out of 10 logs, so we're expanding on that. Some of my things are growing, but usually with a lot of things in the spring. Like, sit on. I made this archway here. Took a little repair at the top there, but I don't know, it's just something I was messing around with and brought some bulbs and things from home, and you know, just for a place to relax on break. But I don't find myself making it up here very often. Okay. Wow. This is some interesting natural kind of fungus going on, and it's like, this stuff here is like kind of the same, you know what I mean? It's like, this isn't turkey tails, but this is something that's similar to turkey tails. You know, it's a shelf type fungus. And you can see what they do. They break down the trees, and that's what fungus does. You know, it turns it back into food. I'm gonna take a walk right back here so you don't have to come back, because I want to try and find them. I don't want you to drag you through all this brush. Unless you want.
Yeah, like I'm a woodsy guy.
You should have seen us.
I live in the woods.
Did he tell you what happened to us? We're back here, and we're walking through, and I'm trying to show him where these turkey tails were. And we're trying to look and see if morels are popping up yet. So we're walking through. I come through and I spread through brush like this, and I almost stepped on a brand new born fawn.
Oh,
and I'm telling you, brand new. And it startled me, you know, and so it hopped up when I went, whoa, and I almost stepped on it. And then all of a sudden I hear crack coming off in the woods, and I look, and here's the doe. Well, see how thick and brushy this is?
Yeah.
She couldn't get cleanly to us. And I'm like, I'm not hurting your baby. I'm like, it's okay. So me and David backed up, and she just stopped and stood, and the baby walked away, and she was cool.
Nice.
I was like, wow. But so young. Like, it had to have been just born that day. Somewhere back here is where I found a bunch of turkey tails growing. And it's like relocated. The thing that I'm looking for is pine. You know, like pine logs, because that's what turkey tails grow. gotta remember, Layton, I spent a lot of time walking through all this hole. But this is an area that I do find a lot of morels in over in this area of the woods.
What's the best time of year?
Morels are spring, and they're like late May, early June is when I find the morels. And then after that, they're done for the year. And they kind of just do their thing. Oh, here's a little mushroom poking out. I mean, not an edible one, but something going on there. Oh, here's some too. Another one, same type. But a lot of inedible. Oh yeah, here, but different time. See? So they're just popping up like crazy here. But this is nothing that's edible or usable for us, but it's interesting nonetheless. Cool part about it is mycelium is basically the internet of the forest, and people talk about how trees communicate with each other. That is the network that the tree roots send their message through, is the mycelium. And that's how they communicate with other trees. And basically these trees right here are telling the other trees that we're here. And they don't know if we're a threat or not, but they're telling the other trees through this network of underground mycelium that we're here. So really neat that they do that. Okay, so coming through the forest and we're looking around. We're just checking out everything that's going on here. We're trying to find some wild turkey tails. I know they exist somewhere here. I just can't quite remember where they're at. But we're finding all kinds of neat fungus going on. Look at all this. Some different kind of fungus growing right there with all the... and they're all related. All these shelf fungus are all related to turkey tails. But, like in this case, I don't know anything about these. And that's the thing about fungus, is that the deal with mycelium is, look at that one. Those are like the ones that people break off and they paint them.
Yeah.
Is that kind?
Yep.
But creepy looking, ain't it?
That looks fake.
Sure does, doesn't it? Really, really neat. And actually, as it gets older, I've seen where they will actually grow moss on them when they're of that type. Oh. Yeah, I never saw these here on the property before. Look at those.
Pretty colors.
Bright orange and purple. Cool. Wonder what those are. But there's one hiding there too, under that leaf. And that's the thing, it's like how we're finding these, like when I uncover these, when I see this spongy texture to a mushroom, I know this isn't edible, for sure. And it's because most of them that are spongy that way are not. They're usually toxic. But you see how these are hiding? That's how you find morels. Like basically, like if you look there, there's some kind of nut there.
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of times when you're morel hunting, it'll look like that, it'll be just something poking out, and then how this one's poking out and so bright. It's like, really, okay, so I gotta uncover it to see what it is, right? Well, it's the same with morels, and things like that will fool you when you're morel hunting. You'll be like, oh, I think that's nope, it's a nut. So looks to me like a walnut, maybe a black walnut. I'm letting the woods teach me things. And that's what you gotta do, man. And that's what people are missing. Like, we're missing that as a society. And everybody wonders why they're so tense and why they're so worked up and why, their lives are such a mess. Well, they've lost touch with the earth. And that's the reality of it. I don't care. People can argue with me all they want. But I'm telling you, when we were closer to the earth, we were more healthy as a people. Here's turkey tails for sure. This was 2 years ago. I cut down this pine, and the turkey tails showed up on the pine, and that's what we're looking for. And what's interesting about this, the way it was cut, is you can see how they're growing out of the sugar layer, because that's the layer that the mushrooms come out of. Now, see, this is telling me something about why we may not be finding more turkey tail, because see how they're spent?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, these have already run their cycle, and these are getting there, you know. But these would be usable and harvestable.
And so tell us about the benefit of this turkey tail.
Well, turkey tails, what we found out is there's good benefits for more specifically targets canines is the deal with the turkey tails. As far as their joint health, as far, you know, for inflammatory disease and things like that dogs suffer. You know, like how dogs have hip dysplasia and things like that. Well, turkey tails is supposed to help with things like that. So that's why we're going to cultivate our own, is what we're going to do. Because then you get a result that you can control, is the idea, and that you can keep an eye on. You concentrate it in an area, and then you can harvest them when they're ready.
So would you be using these spores?
Not the spores, but the mushroom itself. We would grind it up.
Okay.
We would make sure it's dry, and then grind it to a powder.
And then that would be for the food, but what about for more mushrooms?
For more mushrooms, basically what we're going to do is we're going to order them. What it does naturally is it just drops the spores. And the spores are microbes, so they just carry through the air. So it like shoots out the spores like a dust. And it just goes to where it goes, and if it finds a host, it finds a host. Well, in this case, this was a cut tree with the fresh sap coming out and everything, a good host. And that's what they look for, things that are dying.
So you're going to order the spores then and
Yes.
plant them essentially on some other
We're
trees.
going to plug the trees, and what you do by that is you drill into the sugar layer and then tap the plug in with a mallet. And the plug has the mycelium growing on it already that they've cultivated. So that's how that works.
Okay.
These are the trees we have marked. If you look around us, all the trees that have the pink ribbon on them are the trees that I took David up here. We talked about it. He wants to clear this area out some, and this is going to give us the oak that we need. And this is scrub oak. You know, there's nothing special about this oak, but it's oak. And the deal is that that's what we need for shiitakes. Shiitakes are oak mushrooms, and that's what the word shiitake means. Shi is the tree they grow on, and taki, it means mushroom. So that's what they're saying is oak mushroom when they say shiitake. So that's what you got to look for. And you want to find small logs like this because those are the ones that become manageable for us. We cut them into 3-foot sections, and that way we can handle them like how you saw back in our garden. The idea is to keep them manageable. You don't want them to be so large that you can't handle them, because you got to be able to handle them because you got to be able to soak them to force them. Because we can force more flushes out of it, and that's what I mean by controlling them. So that's going to give us quite a few logs at 3 feet apiece. You know what I mean? So you look at it and it's like, well, maybe I'll get 4 logs, usable logs out of it. And the smaller ones produce mushrooms quicker. The bigger ones, it takes more time, because what the deal is the mycelium is actually the mushroom. And it spreads and it grows, and when it starts using up the food source that's in that tree of the hard sugars, that's when it fruits. And that's what we call mushrooms, is the fruit of the mycelium.